Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Got to take care of a few things before we jump into this week's episode. First, our Ramping Isometrics for BJJ program. It is a 12-week program, all laid out for you. It's going to help you build strength and cardio in the fastest, safest, and most convenient way possible. This is how James and I have been training for the past year, and we love it. So we put this program together so you can just follow along, and we are certain you will see and feel the benefits that we do. It's only $15. Just go to grumpyguybjj.com, click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll find it. Next, R3. This is our K2 D3 supplement. It is a combination of those two vitamins, D3 and K2. These are two vitamins that James and I have been taking for a long time that really help us recover from hard training sessions. And for only $15 with free shipping, you get a whole month's supply. I was going to pull up some studies explaining the benefits of D3 and K2, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence and pretend to be a fucking scientist. I take it. It helps me recover. That's it. So for $15, check it out. And last but certainly not least, we have partnered up with JiuJitsu.com. They have a ton of awesome BJJ instructionals, and they have hooked us up with a discount code for our listeners. It's Grumpy10. So what you got to do is you go to JiuJitsu.com, which is DIGITSU.com. Find the instructionals you want, throw them in a shopping cart. In the little discount code box, you type in Grumpy10, which is just GRUMPY and the number 10, 10. That's it, no spaces. Boom, you get 10% off. You're up and running. They got a nice app you can download on your phone. That way you can take your instructionals right to the gym with you, watch the technique, drill it. It's a pretty sweet setup. So once again, DIGITSU.com. Discount code Grumpy10, GRUMPY10. Simple as that. To find all this stuff I just got done talking about, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com. Click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner. There, you'll subscribe to our newsletter for podcast updates. You'll find links for the Ramping Isos program, the R3 Recovery Supplement, and then under the Programs and Products tab, you'll find a link to jiu-jitsu.com. And let's be honest, if you guys can't figure out how to navigate a website by now, there's nothing I can do to help you. So quit fucking around, check it out, train hard, and let's get into this week's episode. And boom. Back again. Once again.
Yes.
Episode 117-ish.
Is it?
I think.
117. Nice, man. Plugging along. I know I tell people at the new gym, because I give out the 10 tips. Remember the thing we put together?
Yep.
So I give that to new people. And I'm like, yeah, it's a podcast me and my buddy do. And, I'm explaining. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for like 2 years. And it's funny, everybody's like shocked. They're like, what? Like 2 years. I'm like, yeah, man, just, it's more of an excuse for us to get together and talk than anything else. But yeah, we've consistently put out an episode for over 2 years. And you realize, like, dude, most people can't fucking do something for 2 weeks. And so, yeah.
On that note,
kudos to us.
I've heard Paul share this with me, that January 17th, which I think is today.
Yesterday.
Or is that yesterday?
Yeah.
Is like National Give Up Day. It's been coined as, because that's when most...
By that point.
Yeah, because by that point, that's when most people have given up on their New Year's resolutions and such. So, I've heard it reframed. What was somebody reframed it to something else.
National Give Up Day.
Yeah.
That's my nephew's birthday. Yesterday was Carter's birthday. So.
Well, I'm not going to subscribe to it. That it's National Give Up Day.
Yeah.
That if anybody has a calendar that says National Give Up Day on it, just burn that calendar and purchase a different one.
I mean, I would just take it as, of course, it's just me, but I would use it as the impetus to give up on the 18th. I'd want to go 1 day longer than everyone else. I don't want to be like everyone else. I'm not going to give up on National Give Up Day. Be like, fuck that shit. But again, that's just me. Like, whatever everyone else is doing, my automatic reaction is like, I got to do something different.
So instead of just not giving up at all,
right?
Wouldn't that be the more appropriate response?
Yeah. That would be the better response.
That would be the better one.
But as long as you don't give up on the 17th, that'd be the only day I wouldn't give up.
bucking the
That'd be my
system.
best fucking day of the whole year.
Kill it that day.
Kill it that day.
Whatever my resolution was, I'm going to double it that day.
Double it, just to prove my point. What's up, Waka?
And Aka the podcast making his appearance.
Yeah. I know. Hasn't gotten out for a couple days.
It hasn't actually been, the weather hasn't been too conducive to getting out and
yesterday
running
was
around.
crazy.
The
I almost,
wind and,
yeah, the wind yesterday was a little much.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to get him out in the afternoon, and I'm watching that wind whip around, and then Shiloh came home from school. She walked home.
Oh, no.
And, dude, she looked like she'd been through a fucking war. Her eyes were all watering, and she just, like, looked all disheveled. And she was like, damn, yeah, it was tough walking in that wind. And, like, man, it looks like it. It doesn't look like fun.
Like, nope, not going out.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it'd be as much fun. He wouldn't care, but I do. So.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been enjoyable. I'm certain of that. I didn't even go skiing yesterday because I saw the weather.
Yeah.
And the amount of snow that they had gotten did not make up for the shitty conditions.
Yeah.
So I made it a productive day. Got a bunch of stuff done around the old house. There's things I've been putting off. So,
Uh-oh, what do we got?
Might be ready for our Pokemon update.
Pokemon update time? Yes. Appropriately dressed for this one.
Yep.
Got
Pokemon pajamas.
Pokemon pajamas on. Alright, we got Z with his Pokemon update.
Okay, so this card's name is Moltres, and it does 120 damage. It's a fire type, and its attacks are Top Burner, which does no damage, and Fire Spin, which does 180 damage.
Ooh, that's a bunch.
And on the bottom of Fire Spin it says, discard 3 energy cards from this Pokemon. And then Top Burner says under it, discard all fire energies from this Pokemon. Then discard a card from the top of your opponent's deck for each energy you discard in this way. And then it's a rare.
It's a rare. Anything else?
The card says it is said to be the legendary bird Pokemon of fire. Every flap of its wings creates a dazzling flare of flames.
Wow.
Sweet.
Nice, man. Well, thanks for that update.
And it makes a flare of flames because its wings, the skin part is literally made out of fire.
I see. So, let me see that bad boy. Oh, it's all shiny, too. So that was school, man.
Good.
Did you guys do anything cool in school?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
We made an experiment from science.
What
It's
kind?
a trash picker-upper.
Oh, that's right. You came home and you made your prototype. Out of a spoon and a toothpick.
And a popsicle stick.
And a popsicle stick. So.
How's it going? How'd the experiment go? Good? Thumbs up?
Yep.
Nice.
They were doing science last night too, huh?
Science is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for the Pokemon update.
Yeah, we also made blue goo.
Blue goo.
From the science. And invisible marbles, which we poured them into water, and then we came back a couple hours later, and then we were like, they exploded, and they just left circles. And then Dad put his hand in, and there were some marbles.
Little balls, yep. Yes, that was cool. What did we learn in JiuJitsu this week? You remember what's the name of the move we finished with?
Americana.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's a good move.
Yep. We learned the double leg, to passing the crazy legs, to getting the side control.
Or crocodile
control to the Americana.
To eat the head and arm to the Americana, yeah. So next week we'll have something else we're working on. But yeah, Z did good. He's my little assistant. He shows the kids what we're going to do on Monday.
That's awesome, dude.
And then we explain it. Me and Shiloh explain it to everybody.
You got to take that role seriously. Show all the new kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
I bet you do. I bet you do a good job at it.
Yeah, we're doing real good. All right, man. Well, here's your Pokemon card. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the update, dude. Very good.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you guys.
See,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Love you, dude.
Love you. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good little Pokemon update. Very clear and concise.
Yeah. Yep.
He came in practiced.
Yes. No, I was good. I think our talk this morning.
It's improving. Everybody
well.
improves with, yeah.
Yeah. Again, you don't know how too far it is until you take it too far.
That's
Again,
right.
just for the context, he came out of his room this morning telling us that he had 3 Pokemon cards that he was going to share on the podcast this morning. And so we had to reel it back in and be like, all right, man, look, we got a deal. It was a Pokemon card. We got to limit how descriptive we're getting on it. Let's keep it somewhat concise. And then we can talk about other things too. So.
Well, like you've said before, he is the boundary knot.
Boundary knot.
That is, dude, whenever I see it, like now that you said that, and then I see Z, like I get this like cartoonish image in my head and him wearing like an old timey NASA spacesuit. You know, you see
Spaceman Spiff, man.
Yeah. I can see it with an old timey spaceman helmet, you know, just out there on the boundaries, just finding it.
Yep.
You know? every time I see Z, that's one of the first images that pop into my head.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's got his boundary knot suit on.
Yeah.
He's out there exploring.
Yeah, it's
funny.
It is. It's funny. I'm glad I came up with that image too because, you know, like it's hard to be mad at him when you're thinking about him that way, and it is. It's like you reframe. Like this morning when you like managed to squish one of the little freaking Orbeez things, and I was like, all right, man, you know. And then I'm like, dude, you're just being a boundary knot. And again, that's exactly what I picture him as. And it's like, all right, let's come back to this side of it. And of course, he was like, nope. I'm not coming back home. That's why I said the boundary knot can come back home now. And he's like, nope. I'm staying out here.
Out here on the fringes, buddy.
Yeah.
I still got to air in my oxygen tank. I'm good. I'm staying out here.
Oh, man. It's funny.
Oh, hey, and to his defense, though, man, when I was checking out those Orbeez this morning, I took a fair amount of self-control on my 40-year-old self to not squeeze that thing to see if it would burst.
Yeah,
and
well,
that texture is very.
You can give it a good squeeze to see if it'll burst, and
I didn't feel it was appropriate.
It takes some effort.
Does it?
That's the thing. Is like it doesn't just happen. Like you'd have to try to squish one.
Would you?
Not like super hard, but it's not going to happen on accident.
Gotcha.
You know, like
I was tempted.
When you squeeze it that hard, it's going to start to slip. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to do something to secure it to make sure you can continue to apply pressure.
Can't just be a 2-finger squish.
Nah, it won't be like oh
it's
man, dang,
squirting out the side.
Look at that. Yeah. Well, it's a solid thing. There's nothing inside of it, so it just like disintegrates, and I don't know what it is. It's a water-absorbing polymer. That's what I think is the official scientific term.
Man, that is, as soon as you use the word polymer, that is an official name.
Yeah, it was in the science kit. Yeah, they definitely use that science word. So, and then Shallow comes in and she's like, "Oh, they're Orbeez," and I'm like, "What do you mean they're water-absorbing polymers?" She's like, "No, apparently."
Well, it's a good thing you didn't call them WAPs.
WAPs. WAPs.
Water absorbing polymer. Yeah, but
WAPs.
Yeah, but WAPs is funnier.
Yeah.
My joke wouldn't have landed if I said WAPs.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
So, anyways, but yeah, apparently those things have there's a name brand for them, and so there's a company or whatever called Orbeez, and so you can buy them at Target. I had no idea.
I was not aware of this either.
And you get like a foot spa thing where you can stuff your feet in Orbeez.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, it's a thing, but to me, they're just water-absorbing polymers.
Okay.
Will always be our science experiment. I know it is kind of funny. It's like, this is science. I'm dumping shit in water and coming back a couple hours later. Like,
see what happens.
I guess it is science. It's an experiment.
See what happens. Experiment. See what happens.
Yeah. And that's what happened. So, and yeah, that was the science kits getting used.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
So how you guys have been hard change the subject here, but you guys have been trying the BJJ for yoga. You guys been liking that?
Yes. Yeah, no, man. I have. We've been, we signed up for it because it's always, I mean, you know, you got like a fucking half dozen apps and shit.
Well,
I've seen you use.
That's why I
over
led this
time.
down this road. So yeah,
Right, yeah. Because as much as you know, it's always easier to have someone just kind of tell you what to do and have like a routine that you follow along to. And so, Keela and I, or it was really her, she got it because we hadn't been doing anything as far as consistent like stretching or yoga type thing. Just started Grumpy Guy on Saturday and stuff. And so, she signed up for it and we've been doing, we didn't get through, they got like a 10-day foundational thing. We haven't done it like completely like he suggests, but we've done yoga before too. Like right. I get the idea that he's literally taking people who've probably never done a yoga class and just trying to get them to the point where they could go to a yoga class and know what's going on. So, you got to start like super, super basic. And, we've done some of that foundational stuff and now we're on to like one of his longer flows, like a 30-minute one. And, I've been liking it. Overall it's good. I mean, I definitely, it's hard not to fucking spend half an hour with somebody on video and not have some observations. Right. So he's an interesting character. The main thing is that he's Swedish or Norwegian or, one of those companies. Icelandic, yeah. I'm being places. Very American with my, just assuming that everyone who's blonde and speaks like that comes from Swedish. The same area. But, so he's trying to translate. He's probably a little bit of a quirky dude in his own language and country. And then he's trying to translate stuff into English. And so some of his translations are fucking funny, just man. Just a touch off, man. Yeah, he says shit that's just like, all right, I know what you're trying to say, but that's not quite exactly it. And one of the times we were doing our fucking warrior pose and he told us we needed to tighten up our scrotum. And I was like, being very scrotum assumptive right here. I was like, how do you feel about that, Kiel? She's like, I'm fucking totally offended.
He really said tighten up your scrotum?
Yes. Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm like, I'm sure, he's translating that there's probably a term.
Right.
I'm like, they didn't teach him like taint. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure if he knew that word, it would probably be a better translation of what the fucking his native tongue is. I don't know. You're fucking
sacrum?
No. Well, because when you're in that like the warrior pose, you're wanting to like draw your, they talk about like trying to get like your butthole and your belly button to touch, like collapsing that space. And so, there's just different ways to talk about that, like tightening up that it's more like kind of that space between your fucking balls in your butthole, right? It's like you like getting that like and sucking that in and getting that stability is an important part of it. And so, it's funny. It's like nipples. When I talk about nipples, turning your nipples or in Grumpy Guy, right? Like there's certain body parts that are like, ha, but funny. It's like, all right, but what are you supposed to say? Like they're fucking landmarks on the body that are what we're going for. So,
and if we weren't so childish, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Exactly. If we were more European about it.
That's right.
We would just, fucking.
We're very prudish and childish.
We are.
That's hilarious.
It's funny though. So but he said scrotum. And that was funny. So but overall the yoga itself is pretty good. He's got a few, like he's a little mobile in a few areas, and I don't think he quite appreciates his hypermobility.
I remember when he first came, because he's been around for a couple years now.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, he put out quite a few like free videos, trying to hype it basically. Yeah, and I remember watching some of his stuff. Like this dude is freaking flexible. Like he has spent some time working at it, or whether he came up as a kid or doing it, but he's a pretty mobile dude.
Yeah, he's hyper flexible in his shoulders and like kind of like his upper.
Where I'm like a stone up in that area.
Yeah, man. It was like one where he was like, we had the shoulders day, and he's like, tie your belt into a loop. So you just tie the ends together to create a loop. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know, and we're like holding the loop and pushing out and doing some stuff. And then he's like, do the
pass-throughs?
The fucking pass-throughs with your fucking belt. I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, dude, like, he's almost like dislocating his shoulders. It's almost like an escape artist type thing. Like, to be able to keep your hands that close together and completely bring your arms all the way down to your butt and then all the way back in front of you.
Most people can't do that.
It's not normal, man. No. And so to, you know, there's a few things like that where just as like a coach and someone who does this as well on some level, where you're like, you know, you can lose some people if you're not aware of it. You know, we talk about it with jiu-jitsu, man. It's kind of that curse of knowledge a little bit. Like, you get into things and you don't realize, like, oh, you know, that's right, that's what it's like to be a white belt, or that's what it's like to be completely inflexible, or like, I have no idea what it's like to have inflexible shoulders because I'm fucking, you know, got some genetic freak thing going on. You know, like, for me, like, I don't know, I knock on wood, like, hopefully I'll never know what it's like to be a fat person. I've never been fat. I've never had to lose 50, 60 pounds. So, like, I don't fucking know. I'm not going to pretend to know. And so I have to be careful when treading in that territory a little bit. And so if you're not, you can, you know, lose people. And so there was just a couple times where I'm like, man, he's going to fucking lose people by frustrating them. You know, if you don't realize, like, oh, I'm a freak in this area.
This is not normal.
This is not normal, and I'm not even. Yeah, so I need to.
Let me show the normal.
Yeah. Just do the normal version. Like, what would normal people do? So, and you know, and again, like, hanging out in the yoga community, you know, you tend to gravitate towards activities that you are good at. People like to be good at stuff. And so if you are into yoga and you're in the yoga community, like, there's definitely a percentage of people that do yoga who, you know, they're like stiff people who are trying to get loosened up. But the majority of people that do yoga are into yoga. Mm-hmm. Like, they're part of that yoga scene. And again, you gravitate towards activities that you're successful at. And yoga rewards hyper flexible people. And so you're gonna be hanging out with an abnormally large percentage of hypermobile people if you hang out in yoga circles. And so you can start to forget that, like, you know, we do it, like, hanging out with, like, like in fitness circles and jiu-jitsu circles. And then you go hang out with, like, normal people and you're like, oh yeah, like, this is what it's like. Like, everyone here is like 20 pounds overweight and has nothing to talk about but their fucking stupid dead-end job, and they've got no, like, this is ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, this is how people live. It's easy to forget that. And so it's, yeah. And that was like I said, it's you have to fight that with whatever you do, but, you know, his shoulders were fucking killing me. I was like, dude, funny. Get the fuck out of here with that. But, no, overall, man, I'd recommend it. He does a 14-day free trial. And so, like, you know, you can do quite a bit and, you know, see if it's going to work for you. He's got that 10-day foundational program. We didn't do the last 3 days because it started to look like he got rowdy with it. He was doing, like, core and balance and cardio. And it's like, all right, we're getting outside.
It's not what we're in this for.
Not what we're in this for. Yeah. So, but,
that's cool. And like, there's a lot of value in those mobility follow along programs. For me, anyways, and I think for a lot of people, because that way you don't have to put a ton of thought into it.
Yeah.
You just pick one that you like, and, you know, especially you get home from work or after training, you're tired, and you don't want to think about it a whole lot. You just hit play.
Reduces the friction.
Yeah, just hit play and follow along, man. Like, it does. I've been on this path for a while. Like, for a long time, I was using ROMWOD, which is ROMWOD. You know, it's a CrossFit-inspired range of motion workout of the day.
Right.
Yeah, subscription thing, and it's good.
It's CrossFit's acknowledgement that we're fucking killing people, and maybe we should try to, like, loosen them up a little bit. You know,
and what those savages do at the highest level takes a great degree of mobility and strength. Like, those are special people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they got to spend, you know, to be good at Olympic lifting and whatnot, you got to be very mobile.
Yeah.
So you got to spend a lot of time doing it. And so I think, you know, when it comes to physical activities, I think CrossFit does a really good job as a culture as promoting that mobility piece. You know, it's pretty big. And from my experience, like, it didn't used to be starting out back
right.
in
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
back in 2007, 2008 when I was starting.
Romwad was like definitely marked a change in the CrossFit philosophy where they started to acknowledge, like, oh yeah, we do have to address this other side of things.
We can't teach people. We can't people do
destroying people.
Overhead squats without proper flexibility.
Yeah, overhead squats aren't going to make you better. Yes, overhead squats will make you better overhead squats, but like maybe you need some things to get to that point. Like there are some, mobility prerequisites. So I hear you. I have to say, from my own experience, and again, just feedback, because again, just hanging out in the fitness community, and again, I talk to like chiropractors and doctors and physical therapists and stuff, and like from their perspective, like CrossFit ain't changed much at all. Like they still see a ton of people from CrossFit, and people that come in from CrossFit still have the same problems. So I feel like, that there's a disconnect, because it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. And so like, what do you tolerate at a CrossFit gym? And again, when you got money and like, what is the goal? What is the real goal here? Well, it's like, you need to be faster, you need to lift more, like you're trying to beat the you of yesterday. Like I hate that whole fucking thing. Like I saw somebody post something like, could the you of you tomorrow beat a clone of you today or something like that? And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, you may get pitted in a death match tomorrow against a clone. Like, so whatever you learn today is the only, like, yeah, I kind of see what he's saying, but like, this idea of like, you constantly, every fucking day, you have to improve. Maybe we were talking about it last week, but sometimes self-improvement ain't the answer, right? So it's not a linear fucking line.
No.
And so, but if that's what you're preaching, and that's what you're looking for, and you're tolerating people not necessarily moving optimally and not necessarily having the best mobility in certain areas, in order to help them pursue that, then there's a disconnect. So I feel like they do a good job of talking about it, and I feel like they do a good job of trying to promote it to their members, but I don't feel like they really believe it.
That could be very possible. I don't know. I mean, I haven't spent any time in any CrossFit gyms. I'm sure it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I'm sure some gyms are heavy on it and really good with it. I'm sure there's some gyms that are terrible with it.
Right.
And I'm sure
you're going to have your extremes on both ends.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a coach-by-coach basis.
I still think on average, though, your average CrossFit gym does not prioritize mobility and recovery and those things as much as they should.
That's possible. That's very possible.
The balance is still more towards work capacity as opposed
just
to
go faster, go harder,
recovery. So, and because that's what sells, that's what people want. And again, it's like, I'm listening to that Game Changers fucking the Chris Kresser, where he's like debunking the Game Changers thing, and it keeps coming up. Like, man, do these people really believe this, and they're just misguided, or do they know that this is fuckery and they're just like, but the ends justify the means, so we're just gonna overlook it? And it's like, man, I truly believe that most people that do like run a CrossFit gym truly believe that they're doing the best thing, and what they're doing is the best approach, and they're doing the best thing to help people. But, I think that there's still, and it's the fitness industry in general, right? It's not, pointing fingers at CrossFit is a little unfair. They're just the biggest target, easiest example of it. But the fitness industry in general doesn't promote that shit. They talk about it, foam rolling, you know what I mean, and do this. So they talk about it, but at the end of the day, it's like, how many calories did you burn today?
Right.
Like that's, could the you of tomorrow beat the you of today? Did you work and do something today? You know what I mean? It's like
beast mode.
Yeah. So I still feel that just in general, but like it's good because it's definitely more than it was. It's better than it was, but I still think that people get too fucking carried away.
They do.
At the end of the day, CrossFit's a movement-based training system, and that's always going to have flaws.
Mm-hmm. Like,
you're always going to, and your risk of injury is always going to be higher with a movement-based training system. And so you got to balance that out. And so that's like we like isometric-based training systems, and then using our sport and keeping our movement-based training within a safe range, because we don't want to, there's no reason to expose ourselves to an increased injury risk through excessive movement-based training when you don't have to. But if you don't know that, right, like, I mean, I guarantee you CrossFit don't have a fucking ramping isometrics day in its routine.
I would speculate they do not.
Even though it'd be fucking way harder than some of those workouts that they do. Like, dude, do fucking like the old school, like we did, 30-30-30, man. Like, we were talking about that. Like, you know, we've got them dialed in. I like what we're doing better. I think that it gets to the goal, and plus we have the timed isometrics with the bands, which fills that in. But man, just go grab your belt and fucking, do a squat or a deadlift in, 30 seconds, 50%, 30 seconds, 80%, 30 seconds, 100%, and do like, each movement pattern that way. And yeah, tell me that is fucking hard.
Dude, I've been doing
super hard.
You're going to laugh at this, but whatever. This meathead Rob came up with a way to do my banded deadlifts in the ISO.
Yes.
This is, dude, it smokes me. Doesn't mean it's always good or not, but so is what I do. I got to paint this picture, being we're an audio only podcast. So you're in a deadlift position, okay? That's the start of it. I use a band. So I put that band out on the floor in front of me, and I take a kettlebell and set it in front of me. So I'm basically going to do a deadlift with a kettlebell, okay?
Yeah.
But I put the band, kind of up through the handle over top of the kettlebell.
Yeah.
And so that way I'm using the kettlebell for my handle, but the resistance is still the band.
Yeah.
Can you picture what I'm saying? So I'm standing on the band.
And you're doing like a banded deadlift.
I'm doing a banded deadlift, but I'm using the kettlebell as a handle.
Yeah.
Dude, that's good. I liked it because instead of like hanging on to the band, and it's kind of hard to get a really good grip on it.
Yeah.
Like I can really, you don't have to use a heavy kettlebell. I think I did it with a 53 or I even did it with 35. Like the weight of it at that light of weight and that movement, like that's just enough to like lock my shoulder blades in and stay in a really good position.
Yeah.
And then pull against the band with that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Man.
That's good. I like it.
What's just added, you forget, like the band is pulling you down, but you forget like gravity's pulling you down too.
Yep.
And then you add a weight, well that's just adding to gravity pulling you down. So like, the band gives you something visual, but that's why just holding a body weight position, you're like, oh, this is nothing's happening. It's like fucking, it's not, gravity's pulling or pushing, whichever the fucking current physics theory about gravity is. But either way, gravity is interacting with you and pulling you towards the ground. I'm just going to go with pull.
You pick one.
Yeah, I'll just go with pull because that's what everybody understands. But so, gravity is that initial thing. And then you're just using bands or extra load to increase that pull. And so, no, that makes total sense. I've been doing my single leg deadlift holds with a sandbag. Mm-hmm. So I just put like 15, 20 pound sandbag on my hips. Same thing, I can't really do a band.
So you use single leg like bridge?
Yeah, single leg bridge.
Did you say bridge?
I think I said deadlift.
I think
that's it, bridge. Yeah.
And then you put the sandbag there. Okay.
Exactly.
I knew what as soon as you said single leg like on your hips, I was like, okay, I'm lost here, but bridge. Gotcha.
So, because I can't figure out how to load that with a band. Right. And so you just put a weight on it. It's like, okay, it accomplishes the same goddamn thing. Mm-hmm. So, no, getting a balance between the weight and the band, makes perfect sense.
I mean, that's not an easy task.
No, man. And then, did you do your reps with that too?
There was a couple days I did that this week where I do my, I like the 30-20-10.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the 10, then I do a few reps. Yeah. I do like 5 reps just to like move through the pattern of it.
Yep.
And I said that's good.
Nah, yeah, cool. No, I like that. That's good. I mean, realistically, I was thinking about it. Like, you should be at a point where you're using a weight or a load that you couldn't lift afterwards. That you'd have to take it down a notch. And like, I found like the row's a good example. Like, man, if you really push the row. Mm-hmm. And then you rest and you go to do your reps with it, man, it's hard, super hard. And so if you went to a lighter band, just one band down and did it, then it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is fucking good. And because really like, because you're able to create more tension isometrically than you can movement wise. And so like theoretically, if you're, you know what I mean? Like the load that you use for your isometric hold should be higher than what you would be able to do, you know, reps with or like really, really close. So it's, I don't know. It's something I've been playing with, trying to push myself a little bit more on the banded holds, but I don't know. Could be wrong, but I guess maybe, I don't know, because you know, like push-ups a good example. Like for me, after I do the push-up hold, like trying to do 5 push-ups is fucking hard.
Dude.
Yeah, and I almost feel like I'm by my 3rd push-up, like I'm wondering, like, am I really getting something positive out of these next 2 reps? Because like this isn't really reinforcing the recruitment pattern that I was looking for. Like there should be some way to reduce that load just a little bit, so I'm getting that really good crisp movement as opposed to, you know, grinding through it. So, you know, I guess those are kind of my like 2 like examples that kind of got me thinking about it more.
I like the push-up holds with a band across your back too, like the band across your back and then underneath your palms.
Yeah,
it's hard to get, you know, just the length of my arms and stuff to get the band adjusted quite right. Like I end up being at that like a higher end of that push-up, you know, just because the length of the band. I'd have to come up with a little bit different system, but just a quick throw it over your back, hook it on your hands, and do it. Like, dude, that's a tough one too. I like doing that one.
Yeah, that's good. Man, I remember
something different
back in the day when they came out with the band push-up band thing. It had like the
kind of like a chest
pad
strap thing or something.
Well, no, it had a little pad, so when you put it on your back, you know, there was a little like padding.
So it didn't dig into your back.
So it didn't dig into your back. Yeah, I was working at ISSA. And dude, we used to get shit sent there, you know, because they were like a big certification group. So if you got them,
on board.
or you had them like it, so that's they would just send. We'd get shit sent. Now I remember getting that. I'm like, oh man, I never even thought of that. Like putting a band around yourself and doing push-ups. And of course, I didn't use it enough. It was more like, this is cool, but we got to do bench press.
That's right.
Bench press. Got to lift more weight. That's what it's all about, man. Lift more weight.
Of course.
So
let's go back though. I didn't finish talking about the mobility stuff, the apps. So because I think you'll find this entertaining, some of it. For a long time I was using Ramwad.
Yeah.
That sent us down the CrossFit path. And I was also using one called the Movement Vault. Okay. This is what set me on this path. Like I think about a year ago, that guy was offering a deal to where if you pay for a year ahead of time, it's significantly cheaper. Instead of like the $15 a month, it was down to like $6 a month or something, whatever. He had a good deal.
Yeah.
So I bought a year of that, and he's got a different take on things. I forget what the type of stuff is. He doesn't do the static stretching. Like you get into an end range and then you create tension.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it, like PNF or something? I can't remember what the.
Yeah, PNF, like functional range conditioning.
Something like that.
Stuff.
So So this stuff is kind of good. Like it wasn't my favorite program. It's decent though. And my subscription's about to run out on that. So I've been shopping around like, okay, what else is it? And then you guys happen to be talking about BJJ for yoga. So I went and looked at his stuff and I seen the price. I was like, all right. And there's a bunch of different things out there. And I was like, you know what? Because then I looked at Black Swan yoga. No, they're pretty cheap. That's just straight up yoga. That's like $8 a month.
I did that.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. Yeah.
It's just straight up yoga.
It is, yeah. But it's not very well, like, organized. And, and they're not, everybody's got different, like, you gotta, like, fucking hunt around, figure out what you like.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like there was a bunch of different instructors, so you'd have to kind of find which one you would like, and then follow his classes.
And which one you're gonna like? Yeah.
And so I looked at that, and I was like, all right. Well, then I was like, you know what? Let's try the DDP, the Diamond Dallas Page yoga. I was like, for the fuck of it, let's try it.
Yeah.
Because I think they almost always, all of them offer like a 7-day free trial.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it. So I went on there, downloaded the app, and I tried it. I'll say my disparaging remark first. Like, it's a little corny.
I bet.
It's pretty corny, but that's really the only negative thing I'd have to say about it. For someone like me, like, I'm just looking for a mobility follow-along program.
Yeah.
This is structured more as a whole, like, fitness workout regimen.
Yeah.
Dude, It's pretty good. Like, if you were somebody that had no experience in fitness and working out, and you wanted to get started somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, I would like, say an old guy, say like my dad or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, where do I start? What do I do? I'd be like, you know what? This would be a good place to start.
Right.
Like, because the app itself, it's super involved, dude. I mean, they have it to where you can connect your heart rate monitor so you can, track while you're working out. They got a measurement page to where, that way you're tracking everything and measure your arms, your chest, your belly, and you type it all in. Like, the app itself is super involved. Like, if you're diabetic, you can hook up your glucose monitor, keep track of that. Like, it is a whole fitness thing. It's not just a mobility thing. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, I could see some serious benefit for people. I mean, we're not sponsored by them or anything, but it's definitely way more than what I wanted or I need. Like, but I was like, let's follow around for one of the workouts this week. So I did. It was like a half-hour routine. It's definitely pretty cheesy. I mean, it was good. I mean, it's yoga.
Yeah.
With pro wrestlers twist on it, basically.
Right,
so if you can just imagine that's exactly what it is. So
I've seen him do it for because he was on I think it was Most Expensivest or what fucking show, I don't know, some Viceland show. He was actually doing DDP yoga with somebody. So like I saw him go through it, and like you said, it's exactly it. It's yoga, but with a pro wrestler's twist on it, which is like he gives like funny names and
Hulk it out.
Exactly. But hey man, he knows his audience. So,
but I mean, all the cheesiness aside, though, it's a pretty cool thing.
I'll bet.
I mean, I could really see it being beneficial for someone if they didn't know where to start. If they needed, like, man, I don't even know how to work out. Going to the gym, like, I don't have any equipment. I don't want to buy anything. Like, where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah.
Like, there's some benefit to it. There really is. So that's kind of cool.
It's good, man.
And I thought it was kind of funny. And when I was trying it, I was laughing at myself as I'm going through this WWF yoga routine, in my garage. It's like, oh my God, what have I come to? But so I wanted to share that. But I found a mobility app that I really like. It's called GoWalk. Again, it's a CrossFit inspired thing.
Right.
Dude, I like it. The way they do the routines is a little bit different, and they have an assessment. They have this whole assessment protocol that you go through like once a month, and they show you how to do it, and then they show you like this rating system. Like if you can do this, you're this level, and so you follow you do the assessment move, and then it shows you all the pictures. Like if you look like this, select this, like so on and so forth. And from your head to your toes, so you're checking your shoulders, your thoracic, down to your ankles, and then it gives you a score, and it structures your monthly routines based on that. I mean, you can change it, but because then you have like a pre-workout routine you can pick, you have a post-workout routine you can pick, and then you have your daily routine. And so your daily routine is structured towards your weaknesses, to help you for the month, and then you reassess, and then your different pre and post workouts. You can select what you're going to train that day, and it'll prime you for that workout. And, dude, it's pretty. And the price isn't bad. Prime you for, and then afterwards, like whatever you did, you can select.
Decompress.
Dude, I like it, but it made me like. There's something that I don't like to admit, and again, when you're not good at something, you tend to stay away from it. Like, my upper body mobility is garbage. It is bad, dude. And when I went through this assessment, like, it really put a spotlight on how bad, like, my shoulder mobility and stuff is. Like, for some reason, when I think, work on mobility, for me, it's always like, okay, your ankles, your hips, your legs. For some reason, I never really put a bunch of emphasis on my upper body. Don't ask me why. It seems like the logical thing I should have done because of all the fucking pull-ups and push-ups.
You got it covered with push-ups and pull-ups. I don't know what else you need to do, obviously.
I know, like when I'm saying this out loud.
If you're doing a full range of motion, you don't need mobility work,
exactly,
bro.
That's what I thought. If I'm hanging from the pull-up bar, fuck it.
All the way, you're going all the way up.
And all the way down?
Yeah, if you're not cheating yourself on range of motion, you don't need mobility, man.
Good.
You're good. Maybe not.
Maybe not. When I got like a 0 score on my shoulder mobility, I'm like, maybe I need to work on this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be my new focus I got to work on my upper body mobility.
It's good, man.
My shoulder, my thoracic, I'm so tight up there.
Yeah.
When I went through some of the moves they show, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, I know I'm tight up there, but when I try to do some of the things, I'm like, oh, Jesus, this isn't healthy. Like, it's borderline dangerous.
Right.
And there's a chain, like if I'm, because I'm in a whole picture, I'm a fairly mobile person, but I'm making up for my lack of thoracic and shoulder, mobility other places down the chain.
Yeah.
I have enough mobility other places to make up for the lack up there.
Yeah.
It's just disguising the problem. It's not fixing it.
Yeah.
And so, like,
yeah,
I think I need to work on this.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. Doing some sort of assessment is good. I mean, it sounds
obvious.
Obvious, but it's because one of the guys that signed up to the gym was asking me about some mobility stuff. And so I ended up sending him a bunch of the mobility routines and manuals that I had from MTV Strength Training Systems. And I told him, man, start with the stretching manual. And in the stretching manual, it has something. It takes you through a basic stretch for each body part. And it's make note of which one feels really tight. And it's just literally make a note on each one. And then whichever one felt tightest, well, that's your daily stretch. Just make sure you stretch that area. And so, but the same thing. It was go through, figure out really your top 3 tightest areas is what I said. And then you do a stretch for those things every day. So you're spending 10, 15 minutes doing some stretching on those target areas. But yeah, if you don't have a way to assess what you need, and then and again, it's tough because, we want to have balance and stuff, and so it's if I do stretch for this area, well, I got to do a stretch for this area, and then this area, and this area, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes turns into half an hour.
Exactly.
And then you don't have that time, and so you just don't do anything.
You just scrap it all together.
Yeah,
that's exactly the thought pattern I've gone through on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
They have. It is okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes stretching. Well, then as you're doing it, oh fuck, I really should be stretching this. And then again, damn it, I don't have time, and it just and you just repeat that frustration cycle. You just got to get out of that.
Yeah, it's that idea that really, if you're trying to create balance in a system that's already out of balance, you can't do it with balance.
Exactly.
And that's the hardest thing for us to really fucking understand is dude, our system is out of balance all the time. It's out of balance. That's the name of the game. And so what you do should be focused on trying to get it balanced back out, not just working everything equally. That's not actually creating balance in the body.
You're just building on the imbalance.
Yeah.
And I catch myself, I know better, but I catch myself doing it. My ego, my fucking immature meathead side comes out. Trying to get my legs balanced back out after all my surgeries. I know conceptually, okay, I need to do more reps with this leg. But then I'm worried as I'm doing it, man, other leg isn't going to get as strong. So you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so I should do 10 reps with this leg and then, do 6 with this leg or something, something like that. Well, then I'm like, fuck, that's not enough reps with my strong leg. Well, then that means I got to do 20 with this leg. You know what I mean? God damn it, man. I can't win that mental battle because I'm such an idiot sometimes.
Yeah.
I see the idiot things I do, but correcting them is another.
And that's where having someone tell you what the fuck to do sometimes
it's
comes in handy.
So I like this, man. It's called GoWalk. I don't know if I said that already. GoWOD.
Yeah.
And it's the price. If you buy a year at a time, it's only $8 a month. You gotta spend the $80 or $90, whatever. And then they do a free trial too, 7-day or 14-day. And I'm in the middle of that, but dude, I'm digging it. I've only been at it for a few days. It's fucking good, and it's all. They don't have the cheesy music follow along. They show you the routine. They say, okay, here's the move, and they show a video demonstration of it.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, hold each side for 1 minute, and then there's a timer right on there. You hit play, and it keeps showing the guy do the move, and then there's variations. If you can't do this, here's a scaled variation, and there's another little option this is where you should be feeling it. If you're feeling other places, you're fucking it up. But the timer just goes, and then it says, okay, now do the other side. You hit go on your timer, so it's your own pace, and then you look to the next move. Okay, here's the move, here's your stimulus, here's some options if you can't do this. Hold it for 2 minutes, and you hit go, timer right in there. It's a pretty sweet little deal, man.
Nice.
I was pretty pumped to find this. So especially for the price. Like all the shit I'm getting out of that for $8 a month.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
It must be going for volume. Those apps are not cheap to create. Like,
No,
as you're
like-
explaining this, dude, I'm just,
No, yeah,
I'm just seeing dollar signs. Just
Dude,
go-
I have to, like, I bet you, I mean, I don't know what it costs to build an app. We've kind of talked about this before. It's
Yeah.
way more expensive than I thought.
Yeah.
With that knowledge, looking at this app, like, they have put some loot into this. Like, this
Yeah.
is a well organized, it works really good. You know, it's so cool when you pick they call it the pre-WOD routine.
Mm-hmm.
You go in, like, how much time do you have available today? Like, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 15, 20, 30, whatever. You select your time domain. And then what moves are you doing today? And you just type in a search bar, okay, let's say I'm going to do bench press and lunges or something, whatever your workout is going to be that day. I mean, they don't have jiu-jitsu, like I'm going to spar, you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you pick the moves that you're going to do, and then it formulates it. Okay, here's your weaknesses from your assessment. Here's what your workout is today. Here's the time you have involved. Boom, here's your routine. Like, it just plugs it all in for you, and it's pretty fucking cool, man.
Nice, man.
I was pumped to find that. So.
That's good. Yeah, it's I think I told you I've looked into trying to do an app before because everybody's always like, oh, you should just do an app for MTV strength training systems. You know, like it's just you just walk down to the corner app store. I'm just being lazy, right? I just need to go down there and buy one. But it was like $5 to $10,000 for like the most basic app, and I was like almost kind of like taking a template. You'd go to somebody that had a template. And he would just kind of like put your shit and hit in that template. So that wasn't even like a...
It wasn't really an app.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, it's an app, but it's not like a from scratch, like a customized app for you and in what you do. And I had one of the guys I know developed an app for timing your like your starts in BMX racing are like 90%. Like of the race, like whoever wins that gets to the first corner is gonna win the race, and so practicing your gate starts is a big thing. And so he's a coach, and he developed an app for timing your gate starts and your practice. And man, I think he told me that was like 15 G's for that, and that's obviously more customized and stuff. So man, I gotta imagine you're dropping like 50 plus on something like that, and then like how many $8 fucking memberships a month do you got to sell to make that back? Yeah. And so like at that point it's like, yeah, then you got investors involved, and then they want their cut of it and stuff. And so it sounds great, man, like making an app and doing that, it sounds like, oh dude, look at this cool thing, but it's a gamble, man. It's definitely a gamble, and so I don't know. Like I said, I just always think about that when I see these apps. I'm like, fuck, dude. Somebody figures they've got a.
They're making a bet.
Yeah, they're making a bet.
They're making a pretty strong bet.
Pretty sure this thing's gonna pay off because, yeah. But no, it's cool. I'm glad it's. I will say with those things, just me personally, I feel like variety gets overrated. And, that sticking with the same basic routine a few times isn't bad. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing that, as you get more experience with mobility stuff, but it's just like anything else. Like, what on earth makes you think that you're going to get better at anything doing different shit every day?
Every time.
Like, it wouldn't work with your workout. It wouldn't work out with jiu-jitsu. It wouldn't work out with anything else. So why on earth is mobility training any different, really? And so
it's not, right? I think they cater to people getting bored with it.
Right. Yeah. Well, in general, the daily workout, right? Like, but we say that, and yet there's a whole culture out there, a huge, strong fucking culture in the fitness industry that is all about different workouts every day. Like, you're not picking a routine and then like sticking with that, or having like core movements or things that you're working on for an extended period of time, like 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. And it's just this constant change. And again, its build is like, oh, you're never letting your body adapt, fully settle. It's muscle confusion. It's like, look, muscle confusion is not a scientific training principle, despite what Tony Horton told you with P90X commercials, right?
Tony Horton reference.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
As soon as you said that, though, where my mind went was Tony Little with the gazelle.
Yes!
You remember that guy?
Yes! With his fucking ponytail.
With the mullet? No,
Yes.
was it a ponytail?
Oh, it was a mullet ponytail. He had the fucking ponytail with his hat. It came out, he wore the hat and it would come out the fucking little hole in the back.
Yeah, but he had like his spaghetti string tank top and his bodybuilder pants on. I was thinking Tony Little when you said that.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail your point.
No. Much welcome fucking diversion there. That's funny, man.
The gazelle.
But but that is one of those things that is in the fitness culture. There's a lot of kind of like myths that are almost like muscle confusion is not a fucking scientific principle. Like you're not going to find any studies, you're not going to find any professional athletes that train that way. Like it's not a real thing unless you're training for a sport that is totally random. Like that's not the same thing. So, but yeah, you have this what is it, the terms entertainment, right? So it's not, you're not training them, you're entertaining them. So it's entertainment.
Okay.
Entertaining them. And that's a lot of what training becomes. It becomes entertainment. And part of that is like, oh, we're keeping you entertained through variety. We're giving you new stuff so you can't get bored. And so if you don't get bored, then you're going to keep coming back. But it's not actually what's best. And so but I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, I think those things are great, but you can self-regulate too. Like, you can still choose to do, I would assume.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
the same routine
this week, I'm going to do this routine.
Yep.
I'm going to stick to this for a week, and then I'm going to do another one for a week. And just something as simple as that, I think, especially when you're first starting out, like if you're trying to, hey, I need to get more mobile, and it's like anything else, man. You need some time with moves to get better at them, more comfortable with them. And that's all mobility is anyways. It's like fuck, dude, you're putting yourself in positions, and then you're trying to let yourself get comfortable with and improve your ability to move in these positions. And there's some transfer from things to things, but it's still just like,
it's an adaptation.
It's an adaptation.
Our bodies are adaptation machines. We've said it a million times on here.
Yeah,
you gotta provide a stimulus and let your body adapt. Provide your stimulus, let your body adapt, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and if you're just doing random shit all the time,
your body doesn't know what to adapt to.
Yeah, and even if it is like targeted random shit, right? You're like, well, I did all this, and it tells me this is the random shit that I need to do. So it's more targeted than other random shit, but it's still like, okay, but at the end of the day, you're still like every day you're doing something different. And is your body really able to adapt optimally to that? And you'll find, a lot of times the answer is no. He just wants to lay on your phone so bad.
That's only the backup mic. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
We shouldn't need it.
He is like, I don't know what it is. Like, he is oblivious to objects around him. And he would just knock them over, like his tail, and just like whatever. Like he doesn't mean
personal space and things don't concern him.
No.
Him and my dog are very similar.
Yeah,
they're very similar in that.
It's funny. It's hard to get mad at him, but
no, you can't get mad at him too much.
No,
I was pissed at my dog, Frank.
What do you do?
Fucking chewed up my food scale, and I use my food scale on almost a daily basis.
Oh man,
he jacked it off the counter. I don't know how he got to it. I kind of have an idea of how he got to it, but that fucker just cost me money. Now I gotta buy a new food scale. Does he slide the Pokemon card under the door?
Pokemon cards under the door.
In case we wanted to review it.
I guess so.
Yeah, but my fucking dog jacked my food scale. Speaking of not being concerned about my things.
Dang it, dude.
I know. That's alright though. He's my buddy.
Might be a sign from the universe.
To what?
You don't need a food scale.
Get a better food scale.
No, you don't need one.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe you're too complete, Rob.
How do you know how much you're eating? I even measure my dog. I measure my dog's food on a regular basis, so I know how much he's getting.
Do you really?
Yeah. I got the cup I've been using now. I figured out how much to put in there because he's still kind of a new dog, and I've been trying to get him to gain weight because when I first got him from the pound, he was pretty scrawny.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know how much to feed him. So I've been, I started from baseline and then just been increasing, and now he's filling out. Like, okay. And then now, once I got a system down, now I get the same cup I use, so I know how much to put in the cup, so I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
But up until about this point, like I've had like, okay, how much is he getting today? He's getting too skinny. Like, okay, it's been a system.
That is
It's been a system. I know it's a little much, but
sounds like you though.
Yeah, I mean, would you expect me to do it any other way?
No, I'd probably be surprised if you didn't.
Exactly.
For sure. So.
Exactly.
Dude, I gotta find this video. I don't know if you've seen these training things. It's fucking hard to describe.
Oh no.
Oh, I know. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Social Roundup. So every once in a while they post, this website posts Instagram videos and shit from pro riders who are posting from their training stuff. Okay. And so, as you can imagine, there's some interesting things because people get a hold of pro athletes and they just think like, oh, these people can do anything, so let's do anything.
Let's do anything.
And so, this is at the Red Bull Training Center, bro, in Santa Monica. So apparently this thing's fucking legit.
What in the world are we seeing? I mean, this is obviously an audio-only podcast.
Yeah.
You guys would have to go see this thing.
I don't even know how to fucking describe what we're looking at.
If I had to put what
is he doing?
What is he doing
He's
there?
grabbing the band, and this is perturbation training. And this is the whole, like...
What word did you just use?
Perturbation.
Perturbation?
Perturbation.
What in the world does that mean? Is that
like when you're like trying to disturb things and knock them off balance.
That looked like a full body shaker weight.
Yeah, I'm trying to. What is this? Was it literally the?
What in the fuck? That's taking sport specific to a whole new level.
Stupid.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Hold on here. Let me.
I mean, I guess
if you go to Red Bull's website,
it's on there.
It's on there. Yeah, you'd have to go back a little bit, but it's from the Red Bull website, and it is. You'll know it when you see it, man. It's this chick standing on this like
elevated platform
thing, and then she just starts fucking, just like moving her legs up and down. This elevated platform thing is suspended, so it's like moving, and then she's got this band in front of her
to mimic her handlebars,
and she's like fucking moving that, and she's got this trainer.
What was that guy doing? Yeah,
fucking standing there, and he's grabbing the band and trying to rip it out of her hands too while she's doing it, and it's just like, this is the most ridiculous fucking thing ever. But this is the Red Bull Training Center, man. Like that's what people are seeing. Right? And so they're like, oh, this pro rider's doing this shit. This must be important. And that wasn't even the best one, dude.
That thing is ridiculous, dude.
That one's stupid for sure.
That is fucking stupid.
Most of the shit is just dumb. They're like on Swiss balls and balance boards. And of course, we've talked about this before. Like the things that people post on their training shit is usually like the tip of the iceberg. The fancy shit.
Right.
So you see the UFC countdown shows, and you're watching them, and you're like, dude, look at what they're doing. This is insane. And then you get the idea that this is how they train all the time, and this is like the foundation of their training, and you don't realize, like, no, man, this is kind of an immediate thing. They take what looks good, and they're doing that. So you don't see all the deadlifts, all the lunges, all the basic shit that they're doing that got to that point. You think that's it. And so again, like, that's one of my problems with posts like this in general, is like, why are we not talking about good foundational training? Why are you guys posting all this crazy shit? And then your average rider is going to go out there going like, oh, I should be doing fucking balance board stuff, and where do I find a place to do this shit? But everyone's favorite fucking box jumps, right?
Oh god,
watch this nonsense.
Ooh.
This is a professional fucking mountain biker. Okay, this chick makes her living by we're watching her basically go for a box jump,
tailbone,
way higher than you need.
Yep.
It's a fucking high jump. She goes for it. She doesn't quite make it all the way up, and so she falls fucking backwards and lands on her tailbone. And it's like, dude, she easily could have gotten hurt doing that. I guarantee you she fucking hurt the next day.
She's feeling that, dude.
Yeah.
She landed on her tailbone pretty hard, dude.
I'm like, my mind's blown. I'm like, okay, so why are you posting this? Like, this actually is like, and it's not posted with the message of, oh, I pushed it too hard. This is kind of a warning to other people. Like, maybe don't do this. It was like, no, it was like, ha, ha, ha. This is just kind of part of training. Like when you push it in training, this is just kind of what happens, man. And so, it was like, it wasn't posted with a fucking, like, it was like a ha 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 thing with it. And it's like, dude, this chick makes her living riding bikes. And so if she gets hurt in the gym because she's doing fucking box jumps that are too high and she falls and hurts herself, like, that's not good for mountain biking. That's not good for being a professional cyclist.
No, dude. And she was nowhere near making that height.
No.
And you see in the boxes they had stacked up, it's not like she added like an inch to it. Like, oh, that was close, let's add an inch. Like, there was a big jump there.
Yeah.
If you look at the stacks. And she was nowhere. She probably made that other stack, and then they put the other one on there. Let's add 6 inches to it.
Yeah.
You were nowhere near that.
Yeah.
How did you see that going?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's another chick they posted. She's jumping up stairs, and she's like posting. She's like, oh, I finally got the 4 today. So she's trying to jump up like up 4 and then land and then automatically do another plyometric jump up another 4 stairs. And it's like, dude, what is the risk to benefit ratio with this shit? Like, you fucking clip, miss, and it, like, why? You're not gonna, you getting those 4 stairs, like, you getting that box jump isn't gonna make a fucking lick of difference on the trail. Not a fucking lick.
That's what people don't realize. Like box jumps or stair
or on the
jumps.
mats for that. I'm not talking about this. Right. This shit is the same thing for fucking JiuJitsu, man.
It's that risk to reward ratio is. Like, if box jumps are meant to train an explosive move, right? So you're not meant to do it for reps. Like, so fucking that. I've done that before, and I've made that mistake. I've learned over my years of mistakes. Like, if you want to, train an explosive jumping movement with very little risk, how about a broad jump? You can't miss the broad jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to...
Or just jump up as high as you
can and do like a knee tuck. You don't have to land on anything.
Or you can have a box that is within your range and just jump as high as you can.
And then, yep.
If you want to jump higher, you don't have to put a fucking higher box in front of you.
Just jump higher.
Just jump higher.
Yep.
And yeah, I know the target gives you something, and guess what? It looks great, especially when you can look around and you're like, oh, these top guys are jumping this high, and so I'm going to jump this high. And again, you see this shit all the fucking time, and it blows my mind. You see, like, NFL players posting shit, and they've got, like, fucking weight plates stacked up. Like, it's so fucking high that they don't have enough, like, real equipment, and so they're using weight plates and other janky shit to fucking get up that high, and they're, like, barely making it, and it's like, whoa! And I'm watching it like, oh, my God, this is insanity. Like, where's the fucking adult in this situation? Like, who's the adult here? And you see the fucking quote-unquote adult in the corner with the fucking, clipboard or whatever. Like, yeah, dude, you just got on the board, man. Yeah, fucking A. It's like, oh, my God, you guys are idiots. You're fucking all idiots.
I kind of blame, the state of social media for some of this, because it's what looks cool on there.
Yep.
And so it encourages people to do ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, dangerous shit, because it makes for good videos and you can post it on your Instagram.
And again, if you fucking look into the history of this shit, which most of those morons who are like, coaching people, again, the athletes, I could kind of give them a little bit of a pass. I mean, I do think you need to be an educated person. Like, saying, like, I'm not going to know anything about training and I'm just going to trust my trainer completely, I don't think is an intelligent way to handle your athletic career. Right? But the fucking coaches should know better, man. Really, they're the culprits. These fucking coaches and these trainers, quote unquote, like people who have some position of authority who are perpetuating this fucking bullshit, and they don't even know the history of what the stuff they're using. And so it's like, okay, well, what are box jumps? Where did that come from? You find out, okay, well, it's a plyometric exercise. Like, there was a progression for plyometrics, right? Like, the plyometric is step off a box, hit the ground, and then jump. Like, that's a plyometric exercise. So you would work up to that by doing box jumps, where you would jump up on a box, and you would do box drops, where you would step off the box, and then you would, you would connect the two together. There was a progression. Again, when you look at, like, how the fucking Soviets, who pioneered this shit, did it, that's what they did. And they also weren't letting athletes do plyometrics until they had a certain strength base. You had to be able to squat a certain percentage of your body weight before they would start letting you do plyometric training, because otherwise you just didn't have the foundational strength to fucking do it. So you shouldn't even be doing box jumps if you don't have a certain amount of foundational strength. And so, but then you look at it and it's like, they never did max box jump height. You know, your optimal the power development is always going to be in like the 60 to 80% range. Sounds familiar. That's where good jiu-jitsu lives. So you trying to push a box jump to 100% is actually, you know, taking away from what you're looking for, and it's not how you use the goddamn tool. It's like, you know, you got this fucking tool and you don't know how to use it properly. And if you don't know how to use it properly, you can fucking hurt someone, man. And that's what's happening is plyometrics have been given to coaches in training systems, and people don't know how to use that fucking tool. And so you end up with just ridiculous bullshit out there because it looks great, man. Watching a high-level athlete who can bounce, do bouncy things, it's fucking impressive.
It's really impressive.
Fucking super. Have you seen those dudes who can like jump out of the pool?
Yep.
God damn, that is insane. And it's fucking cool to watch, right? But yeah, when they're in a training environment and they're supposed to be a coach or someone who's leading them and they're doing stuff like that, it's like, dude, this is ridiculous. This is bad for everyone involved here. So, anyways. I thought you liked that perturbation machine.
Perturbation. Is that even really a word?
It is a word. It is. It's fucking look it up, man.
I gotta look that one up. I gotta go to Webster's and look that one up.
Yeah, I wouldn't know it, except that's what it's called in training. It's the technical term for when you're like, you know, so if you're walking around and someone's in the position and you're like knocking them around, trying to knock them off base, or
it's called perturbation.
Perturbation training, yes. Yeah. And so increases your stability is the thought process.
Interesting.
Somebody did some study that showed some sort of increase with it, and so that means that we gotta fucking do it. Some weird machine has to be invented. And dude, the machine was bad enough, but the fucking dude grabbing the band and just jerking on it was just, that was what took it over the top for me. Goodness. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
The whole video is just disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, what am I seeing here?
What am I seeing here?
What are we doing?
It's a real thing though, man. So,
anyways,
speaking of which, you said you had a fucking bro science thing.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to steal your bro science segment. For some reason, I don't know, it got on some weird internet rabbit hole. And I did find a study that showed that if you decrease tongue fat, it will decrease instances of sleep apnea. They did a whole study. So I'm not really sure how you do it. I didn't dig into it, didn't care enough. Again, I saw the title, I read like a paragraph, and I was like, what?
Do you have stubborn tongue fat?
Yeah, exactly.
Take this pill.
How are you burning tongue fat? At what point of your body fat percentage do you have to get to, then added to your tongue? Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here, but this was a study done, like a legitimate study done at some sort of university.
I can't, like, when you said it, again, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then just all sorts of realities pop in your head and you realize, like, dude, tongue fat?
Tongue fat?
A fat tongue? Like, I didn't even know that this was a thing. And then you realize, like, oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
There's people out there that take things so far that their tongue gets fat.
Yeah. See, I don't know what point that is. I don't know which of us are more inclined to gain fat in the tongue area as opposed to others. I don't know, but
dude, I'll guarantee you gotta be like obese. I don't think tongue fat is a common problem among like normal fit people.
I wouldn't think so.
And yeah, like that sounds like something where you push things so far that your body's just literally run out of places to store calories. And it's like, well, got this fucking tongue thing going on. And so, you know, and again, this is what science does, and it's just interesting because I'll bet what it is, you know, like there's evidence that losing weight in general, like if you're overweight, you're gonna have a higher like probability of having sleep apnea.
Right.
And so just losing weight will help decrease that. I can just see this being like, okay, well, we need to figure out the exact mechanism by which losing weight is helping decrease sleep apnea, because it's not just losing weight. You have to be able to hone in on the specific mechanism that's happening here. So our theory is that it's the tongue, that you're decreasing the fat in the tongue, and that is what is leading to this improvement.
And I can see the dots getting connected because, okay, what's causing sleep apnea? A lot of times you fall asleep, your tongue relaxes, kind of falls back into your throat, closes off your airway. Boom, can't breathe. Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So okay, you're losing weight, but how does that affect that? Okay, what's causing the person to choke at night? Their tongue. Oh, maybe their tongue's getting skinnier. Like, you can see the dots getting connected.
But now you're going to have a class where some professor is, hey, man, I've figured out why, losing weight. So I'm going to, lecture people on why losing weight is going to help you with sleep apnea, which makes me the world expert on tongue fat. And so, but again, you can see how this could go. It's like, look, man, okay, yeah, but we don't need to focus on the tongue. Like, this could be taken in a weird direction. Where all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now we need to figure out specifically how to decrease tongue fat. So now in, a couple of years, you've got a drug coming out. Like, do you have excessive tongue fat?
Oh, yeah.
Try Orbital GX or whatever. It's a fucking Pokemon card, I'm sure. But it'll, target and you
stubborn
look into
tongue
it.
fat.
Yeah, and you look into it and it's like, oh, fucking stubborn tongue fat or something is what it's going to target. And so now you're going to like, instead of like having people focus on the holistic approach of like, no, look, dude, like you need to focus on the organism. You need to lose weight. And yes, if you can do some things that can kind of, like now that we know that, if there's something we can do to kind of decrease that, because yeah, sleep apnea sucks. And it definitely affects your ability to sleep. And if you can't sleep, you're going to have trouble losing weight. So it becomes this whole fucking vicious cycle. Like, yeah, you definitely have to address that. But tongue fat reducers.
It might be coming. You never
tongue
know.
fat liposuction.
Yep.
So that was good, man.
Yeah,
I like
so
that
I
one.
wasn't trying to steal your thunder. I came across it and I felt I had to share this thing.
Well, I actually had a couple. I had a interesting bro science one, and it's a question. Is what I was reading up on this when you came in, and so I'm gonna. If you're gonna guess, right? Somebody's doing a study, and one group is doing squats, so a bilateral exercise, squats with both legs at one time, and another group is doing step-ups, unilateral exercise, one leg at a time.
Okay.
And you were going to predict which one of those two groups improved their ability in a change of direction test, an agility test, change of direction. Which would you say would win?
The step-ups.
Yeah, that's what you would think, but yeah, a study found that was not the case.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is new science, guys. It just came out in January 2020, so this is cutting edge shit. But yeah, they looked at that and found that the bilateral exercise actually improved the. Actually, I think we should be a little more specific and say the squat versus the step up, because the step up is an interesting choice for a single leg exercise. It's a very interesting choice.
Yeah, they chose a step up as opposed to a Bulgarian split squat or a lunge. Split squat. They could have done a couple other things.
Yeah,
that I think may have changed the outcome of that study.
Yeah,
the step up. It's almost a little disingenuous. It's almost like they chose that. Because they I think the bilateral will build more strength. It's going to show bilateral exercises are better. Because I think if they would have chosen...
No, they both built strength. So they tested
but
strength,
the change of direction.
Sprint speed and then change of direction. And they found the difference was in the change of direction. That they both groups had similar increases in strength and similar increases in sprint speed. But it was the change of direction that was the difference, and it was the bilateral group that showed improvements over the step-up group, the squat versus step-up.
I bet you the results would change if they were to do a lunge or a Bulgarian split squat.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the Bulgarian split squat.
Yeah.
That would have been, but I guess there's some argument for that. That it's not a true bilateral exercise. It's a unilateral. It's a unilateral assisted.
What, the Bulgarian split squat?
Yeah, because your rear foot's in contact with something. So it's not a true unilateral squat. Like a pistol squat is a true unilateral exercise.
I could argue that with the box step-up, though, too.
Well, you're not supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, preferably, you're not
Done
supposed to
properly.
have... you're not supposed to have your trail leg dragging the box or
pushing off of the ball of the foot as you...
Yeah, well, even then, it's like there's a moment where you only have one foot in contact with something. The other foot is free. And so you're only driving and stabilizing and creating movement with one leg versus, doing like a stagger stance or... Bulgarian split squat or something like that, where you've got that assisted, for your balance, and you can use it to push a little bit. And so there is technically a difference between
I can see that.
Those things. And so I think that might be why they chose the step up, because it is more of a true unilateral exercise versus your lunges and your...
Yeah, because it's a good choice for an exercise as opposed to a pistol squat, because... most people can't do it.
There's a high element of skill.
There's a lot of skill and mobility that comes into doing an appropriate pistol squat.
Yeah, step up's pretty easy.
Step up, almost anybody can do a step up.
Yep. So, but anyways, it was interesting. I found it interesting because, if you hadn't studied, like I said, if you were going to tell me to place a bet on which one of these two is going to improve change of direction, I would have bet on the step up for sure. Because the conventional wisdom is that, unilateral exercises, single leg stuff, is more specific to sporting demands because shit takes place on one leg.
And you think about planting and changing directions,
it's one leg.
It's one leg.
Yeah. So being able to stabilize and create force with one leg as opposed to both would seem to be more specific to the movement. But that was kind of the thing that I was like, oh, okay, like maybe, I don't know, maybe there is more to this than we're I think that again, I think that that's where trying to mimic a sport versus just train basic movement patterns, because if you're I train an athlete that changes, soccer athlete or a fucking football player, wide receiver, cornerback type, somebody who changes direction a lot. So I got to create a program that enhances their ability to change directions. Like, how many fucking programs are sold on, like, we're going to change your ability to do X in your program.
Right.
And a lot of shit, especially for field athletes, is change direction, acceleration, speed, things like that. And it's like, so when that's the goal, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to use step-ups because step-ups are more specific to the change of direction, and this is the goal of the program, versus like, look, man, you're just trying to train some patterns here, right? Just squat, hinge, lunge. I don't know where step-up fucking fits in the basic movement patterns, really. Like, it's like...
somewhere between a squat and a lunge.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's a worthless exercise. I need to throw it out like fucking pull-ups are.
No, come on.
No, I'm kidding. So I can't do it, man, because my elbows. No, I'm kidding. Anything I can't do, man, I got to fucking find a reason they suck. So now everyone's putting it together like, oh, James can't do step-ups.
That's right. James doesn't like step-ups. Now he's poo-pooing step-ups,
man. So, but yeah, no, but it's maybe just doing bilateral shit. We were talking about it earlier. Like, you think you're missing out, right? So, with stretching, it's like, oh, I got to stretch this area, but that means I got to stretch this one. I got to stretch this one. It's that fear of missing out. Like, that's what bugs us. And so it's the same thing with training, because you're told, like, man, if you're not doing single leg stuff, you're not really training sport specific, because like life and sport takes place on single leg, unilateral. So training bilateral is good, but it's not enough. You have to train single leg stuff, unilateral stuff too. And well, the problem is training shit one leg at a time literally takes twice as long. Do the math. And so, all of a sudden your nice short 15, 20 minute workout is half an hour, 45 minutes long, because you got to do single side this and single side that and all these other directions. And like, you maybe doing just a basic squat and deadlift and, throwing in a lunge is good enough. And we don't need to be fucking going crazy with all this, single leg shit, trying to mimic what we're doing in sport and stuff. So anyways.
That's a good study.
Yeah.
Better than my tongue fat one.
I don't know. Maybe. So I have another question for you, Rob.
Sweet.
This is a thought experiment.
Uh-oh. All right.
So from what area of the body down is considered manscaping? Because here's my thought, right? So I was watching this. I was watching fucking TV last night, which was first where I started to go wrong, and there was a commercial for a manscaping company, And so they started out by saying that like a certain percentage, and I forget the percentage, but like all of a sudden it perked me up when they were like blah blah percentage of men say that they have suffered a manscaping accident.
Yes.
And they're like, because and a lot of that is because of access to the wrong tool or something like that. Mm-hmm. And their visual was like a scissor snipping off a fucking hot dog.
Yes. Oh, that's hilarious.
So, and it just got me thinking, like, holy shit. So, I wouldn't say that if you're shaving your head and you nicked your head, I wouldn't call that a manscaping accident.
Nope.
Obviously, if you're shaving your balls and you nick something, that's a manscaping accident.
Obviously.
Where's the line? Where's the boundary line?
I say it's from the forehead down.
Forehead down? We're hairy. Even like shaving, if you cut yourself shaving, that could be a manscaping accident?
I think so. You're trimming ear hair, nose hair. I mean, as we get older, it gets unruly. You get fucking hair everywhere.
Forehead down.
Forehead down, man.
Yeah.
I
can't disagree with that.
I even get this weird hair on my head, dude. Like, it's this weird blonde hair, dude. If I don't fucking yank it out every, like, couple weeks, the thing will get long as shit. Right in the middle of my forehead for some fucking random reason. Like, God damn, it joys of getting older. And I'll forget about it. And then I'll just happen to look at myself in the mirror like, oh my God, how long has that been? No one has told me about this. And I got this like inch long white hair fucking growing out of my forehead. Like, God damn it, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Joys of getting older, man.
Well, right on. I kind of figured that. But it was an interesting thought experiment for me last night. And I was like, where is manscaping start?
Yeah, I think it starts there because I don't think women have to trim ear hair very often. Not like we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to. You can just have...
I mean, I would definitely... I mean, hard line in the sand at the nipples down. Like, that's a definite... Like, anything from the nipples down is manscaping. Like, you're fucking shaving your chest and your nipples and anything from there down is definitely manscaping.
For sure.
You could... maybe make a gray argument for just a straight hair here, straight hair there. We're just trying to keep our face
somewhat
looking
presentable.
decent, and it's normal. It's been this way from the dawn of time, right? So it's maybe that's just falls in this gray area of like manscaping, but at an acceptable level. I'm not saying it's not, manscaping below is not acceptable, but you definitely have to take on the moniker of like, I am manscaping at this point. Right? You could argue it a little bit. If I shave and I pluck an eyebrow or I do a little nose hair, ear hair, I could still argue like, man, I'm not manscaping, bro. It's a different thing.
It's a different thing.
So, but I would definitely draw that line at the nipples down, and anything that happens from there down is manscaping accident.
Yeah, I can see that argument also.
I just have a tough time saying fucking John Wayne when he was shaving nicked himself one day and like, the Duke had a manscaping accident. Like, I just can't, I don't know.
Yeah, that word wasn't invented in the Duke's days when he was shaving with a straight razor.
Yeah, man, exactly. Fucking clean, sharpening it on the bottom of your shoe.
On his leather strap.
Right, before he fucking shaves.
He's not calling this manscaping.
Dude, you want to talk about a edgy ass cartoon. Go watch the original Peter Pan.
Really? Man, it's been so many years since I've seen that.
Oh my God. That fucking show would never fly today. It is so racist.
Is it really?
Oh my God, it is so bad, man. It is so fucking bad. It is like... yeah, especially because they got the Indian tribe, and they're just like every fucking like red man cliche that you can imagine is just like on full display in that thing. And Captain Cook and dude Tinkerbell. You forget Tinkerbell tried to kill Wendy, and yeah, dude, it's like you're watching. I'm like, God, dude, I do not remember it being like this as a kid, and you're watching it as like an adult, like
through a different
lens, and you're like, dude, this would be like an edgy ass cartoon. Like, if it came out today.
Well, look at the original Popeye. I was a huge Popeye fan as a kid, man. As a little kid, like Z's age, I loved it. And, yeah, there's no way you could get away with, like the original Popeye.
Oh, the original. Oh, yeah, you definitely had, like, racial fucking stereotypes.
That, what was the bad guy's name?
Bluto.
Bluto. I was going to say Brutus. It's Bluto, right?
Dude, yeah, he was like, always trying to manhandle all of them, man.
He was straight up, like, trying to
beat her up,
kidnap and rape her.
Kidnap and rape her, yes.
And Popeye's trying to protect her. Like, you couldn't do that nowadays, man.
No. But, yeah, it's funny. It definitely meant something different back then. Trying to judge those cartoons through today's lens
You
and
can't.
morals is wrong, man. That's the wrong thing to do. It's not like those, it didn't mean the same thing back then. And like, yeah, we've gotten better. It's like, okay, yeah, we definitely don't need to be doing fucking commercial or cartoons where their song is like, when did the red man start saying how? I mean,
is red man an offensive?
when did the red man
is that an
start
offensive
saying
term?
ugh?
Is that an offensive term?
Yeah, I would say it would be.
Red man.
I think so. I mean, red man,
The
Redskins. Yeah, that's why that football team it's such a weird thing because, dude, there's no other, like, what other minority, could you, like, what could you call? Like, I don't even want to, like, get into all the fucking, minority names and shit that you have. But if, you know what I mean? If you had, like, the Washington Negroes or the fucking, the Beaners or the fucking, the Chinks or something like that.
Goodness.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like, these are all terms. Like, the red man and redskin was not, like, an endearing term. It wasn't something.
Dude, Aka's going nuts.
Yeah, what is going on? What is going on? Well, thanks.
Holy moly.
She mistimed it.
That's all right. Aka was going crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what the fuck's going on. That's how I'm getting excited.
Getting excited for his walk.
So yeah, but I mean, like I said, these were not like terms of endearment.
True.
Like they were not being used to describe people in an affectionate way. And so
No, he's just my redskin friend.
Yeah. It was not. it was a derogatory thing. And so, yeah, it is a really interesting, surprising thing. Like it's fucking weird to me. We've had this talk before, and again, like people, like I'm not like hardcore. I mean, enough. I'm registered with the Oklahoma Choctaw tribe. My grandfather was half Indian, and so like I have a little like connection with that stuff. But it's always blown me away, like how, like, when discussions of people of color in this country come up, like, Native Americans just aren't even, like, they don't exist. Like, they're not part of the discussion.
Yeah, if you say, like, hey, we need to talk about, I don't know, we need to talk about, like, colored people's rights in the city or something, whatever. Like, say the conversation started like that. The odds of you putting Native Americans in there in that discussion are probably pretty slim.
Slim.
For some reason, it doesn't. They don't get lumped into the colored people.
Well, like I said, that's why the Redskins thing. It blows my mind that if there was any other like derogatory, like any other group, you know what I mean? It's really a statement on like the state of things with that whole thing. And to me, I think it's fucking hypocritical, and it shows a lot of how self-driven a lot of those arguments are. It's not really about people of color. It's about me and my people. And like we can band together and call this a people of color thing because
makes us stronger and
it's this bigger thing. But you guys aren't really looking around and really fucking evaluating. It's about you. And you're trying to band with other groups, but you're not really as a group trying to represent people of color. It's a bunch of individual groups coming together saying they're representing people of color, but they're not. They're not. They're representing their own interests as a group. It's like if you're trying to represent people of color's interests, then it wouldn't. You guys would fucking it would be different. So, anyways, so I've always find some of this shit a little hypocritical. Like everybody's got their problems, man. Like but to say that you're representing this bigger cause and then leaving this group just that has been fucked over and continues to get fucked over just completely out of the conversation is, I think, hypocritical. And so,
well, I'm glad you're part of Indian. It makes me feel better about myself that I have a friend that is a redskin.
Exactly.
We don't have a very culturally diverse population here in Grand Junction. Just a lot of white boys running around.
Yeah.
I have an Indian friend in James. I got quite a few Mexican buddies. But I'm not very culturally diverse as a friend set just because of our environment.
Right. Well,
I don't have any midget friends.
I married a half Japanese girl, so just take
check that box.
My diversity comes with me.
Yeah, see, I'm friends with you guys too. So I got a Japanese friend. I got an Asian friend here too.
Yeah.
And Kieli, so
yeah, we do what we can.
I'm trying to check all the boxes. I got to include everybody the best I can.
It's good.
It's including everybody, different religions. I was thinking about the other day, we got a lot of Mormons running around this town.
Fucking the visual, man, it just kind of comes to mind. We got a lot of Mormons running around.
It's pretty common religion out this way.
Kind of like the prairie dogs.
Yeah, Mennonites. I don't think we got very many Jewish people running around.
No,
there's not a big Jewish population here, is there? Like I can't recall. I don't know why I started thinking about this, but I can't recall the last time I saw somebody running around. What do they call it? What's a yarmulke, right?
The yarmulke thing.
Like out and about. Like I cannot recall seeing somebody out wearing that.
Yeah, not around here. Last time I remember when I was in Seattle.
Yeah, you go to a big city.
Big city. Yeah, you see that, but no, not so much around here.
We're not really diverse.
Yeah, I mean we don't. There's so much. When you think about the amount of territory that we cover. You know what I mean? Like our daily lives, like we really don't. There's so much.
We don't go very far.
Man.
Our
There's
world's pretty small.
Mesa. There's so much fucking so many people. Sometimes when I'm driving around, I'm in an area where I'm like, dude, I never come over here. I don't know where this is. And you're looking around and there's like stores and shops. You know what I mean? There's like
people live over here.
There's whole fucking worlds, whole lives going on, just completely you just don't even have any idea. Like there's. In that area, everybody knows, like, oh yeah, that's where you go get your fucking haircut, and this is about, where you go get your beer, and this is, like you know the shit, and it's just like, huh.
This is where I go. This is what I do. Speaking of weird culty things, did you see the stories coming out about Amish people being a little more rapey than we were led to believe? There was a big article that just came out in like Cosmopolitan or something that like some of these Amish chicks are starting to come out. I don't know how it got brought into the light, but yeah. They're like taking notes from some of these Catholic churches on how they should treat each other or something. I don't know, but there's been a little more Amish rape going on within their ranks than one would care to believe.
Care to think, huh?
Yeah, I didn't dig into it again. I just read a couple paragraphs of this article and I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's enough to make me an expert and talk about this on our podcast. So
yeah. Well, again, I'd be interested to see like what. So is it like? So you bring up the Catholic Church and like so with that. Everyone automatically goes to like pedophile stuff. So
right.
Was that part of what they were talking about?
What I read was that like these young girls being raped, like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old by their older brothers and dads and uncles and shit. Yep, so there was definitely some child fuckery going on. Dark shit.
Yeah, man, you get those closed communities and it gets tough. Because,
why do those cults always devolve into that?
I think that what it is when you develop a culture, it's, cults are, like, I don't know how to put it, like, you develop a culture where it's us versus them, right? Like, it's us, and then there's the rest of the world. And so, man, you see this is how, like, you see this in like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how to put it. You see this all over. It's not even just cults, right? Like, it happened in fucking Hollywood with that.
Right. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, whatever it is, right? Like, you develop a culture where it's like, this is us, and this is how we do things, and then there's everyone else, and we're different than everyone else. And like, that's the danger, like, when you develop that culture, because then, like, that's where if something starts to become normal that shouldn't be normal, it seems normal because there's like you can't go talk about it, like this is what we do, so hey, if you got to hang out on the casting couch to get a job, or like hey, young kids are on the table for some reason or whatever, like, and or the guy in the mankini wanted me to give him a massage.
This is just what happens,
right? Like, yeah, it's like, but that is like that, and that's what that. That is what happens so many times when you hear people talking about it. Like, they didn't come forward the first time because everybody was saying, like, man, this is just how it is. Like, this is normal for us in our group. And so you start to question, like, well, wait a minute, am I looking at this wrong? Like, am I not seeing this the right way? Because, like, obviously everyone else around here would be fucking alarmed if they thought something was going wrong, and no one else seems to be alarmed, so maybe nothing's going wrong.
Must be okay.
Must be okay. And yeah, man. And so that's really the danger of it. But that's yeah, that's the hard thing. That's what cults look to do.
Normalize their weird shit.
Yeah, I think that's where things start to become more culty. Like the harder core you get to that end, where you're like, you know, you're starting to like really act and do things differently, you know, from the outside. Like, this is our group and we behave this way and we dress this way and we, you know, okay, that's and like there's a lot of fucking mind control that goes on some level that way, and you have to develop that culture of that. And again, like, it's not necessarily bad. I mean, you know, the fucking Army does that. Like the Navy SEALs do that, right? Like that's how they develop that culture. If you're a Navy SEAL, you're not one of them. Like when you're out among the rest of the people, you're held to a higher standard. Like you behave differently, you think differently, you may dress differently, and you're okay with that because this is who I am. So it's not necessarily, you know, bad, but there's a fine line because you hear about it even like the military, like hazing or, you know, fucking fuckery with, you know, subordinates and sexual stuff there too. So it's, again, it's easy to point at cults because they're fucking fun to make fun of because they're so over the top with it, you know. But yeah, you see it a lot, and that's just where people need to be just wary, man. You just need to know, like, I think that's where like a healthy degree of skepticism is good. Mm-hmm. Like you can't just go into things thinking that, like, just completely trusting
this is normal.
Yeah, this is normal. Yeah, that's how you end up on a fucking perturbation machine.
That is how you end up on that. Like, we're doing this. Why? Wait a second. Let's pump the brakes here for a second.
Oh, I trust you. Okay, you must know what you're doing. You work at the fucking Red Bull Center, and you got a clipboard, so you must know what you're doing. So okay, we'll
go with it.
Perturbate away.
It's perturbate.
Yeah. So.
Anyways,
it's a danger everywhere, but got jiu-jitsu cults. So
we are definitely part of a cult.
Yes, well, jiu-jitsu is a cult, and then within jiu-jitsu, you get your jiu-jitsu cults as well. So
you do,
and you know, you see it. They breed. There's a reason that you. Again, there's a fine line. You want to have that family team feeling, but it can be taken too far, and like people can start to take advantage of stuff, and so you just gotta beware. So,
beware.
What are you working on today, man?
As far as drilling?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. I still had a couple ideas. I think I was going to do a little bit of crucifix stuff. You know, you saw me talking to Trey.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was going down that rabbit hole for a while. Because I really like arm drags. And I'm slowly starting to, let me back up. Because I've been working on the Rabo Plata.
Right.
And I'm connecting some pieces of the puzzle. You know, because I really like the Kimuras, you know, like the 50-50 of the arms with like Wagner. And obviously that goes really well into the Rabo Plata. Mm-hmm. So then like back step, okay, I really like the arm drag. And well, the arm drag really is good setup for the crucifix in a lot of positions. Well, and the crucifix is a really good setup for the Kimura. And so I'm slowly seeing like a whole Rabo Plata system developing here. And I got to start building the pieces of the puzzle.
Nice, man.
Back engineering the Rabo Plata.
Crucifix, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, so I was brainstorming. I was talking to Trey a little bit last night, and then I rolled a long round with him, and I was trying to do a lot of his crucifix stuff on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was weary of it.
Yes, he was aware of it.
He was aware of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy, but it was good to try on him.
Right, yeah.
Because I knew he knew exactly what I was trying to do, so.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe something along that line. We'll see.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll have to.
How about you?
I'm going to be working on some of that leg weave shit. We've been working on the passing stuff. Mm-hmm. I need to work on other options for, you know, start running them across and trying to shove the knee in the hole and start setting up. And then, well, people don't want me to do that. And so I'm not really, I don't know exactly what my other options are. As soon as they defend this way, here's what I can do. So I got to work on those other options a little bit more. Because, man, I'm having good luck with that fucking pass. Mm-hmm. Like, I see it now, and I can, you know, once you get in that position, it's good. So, I was having some luck with it last night. But
that's good.
So, work that, some half guard stuff. Yeah, trying to work on my half guard game.
Top or bottom?
Bottom. It's good, man. I realized I needed a lot of work. My half guard game is...
Like traditional half guard, or going butterfly half?
Dude, just, you know, traditional half guard is definitely my weak point. And so just, looking for that and using that. But just understanding how to, how to get it and how to hold it and defend it better. Because even with like half guard, half guard is anything where you have one of their legs, any part of their leg between your legs.
Right.
3/4 mount, knee cut where you're still hanging on to the ankle, just
it could all be.
Yeah. There's all sorts of positions where I got to get, I'm not real good at necessarily knowing how to get from there to like
a stronger spot.
Yeah, stronger spot. Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of what I'm picking up from that Lachlan Giles instructional that you got me for my birthday.
Nice.
And but yeah, it's been good. I've been definitely. I feel like my guard retention is getting a little bit better. I was having some luck last night, just seeing things a little bit differently. Because it's a lot of what it is. Like, oh, okay, I see. It's a lot easier to just get something, some sort of half guard, than I necessarily thought. And once you kind of see a few things, you're like, oh, okay, that's try that. So yeah, just working some of that in my passing shit, and then see where we go from there. But,
sweet.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a good day of training.
Yeah. Me too. This will be day 6 again. Another week of classes whenever fucking guard breaks. So.
Nice.
Yeah. It's good. Got three adults signed up now and like 7 or 8 kids.
Sweet.
So yeah, you saw the end of kids class on Monday.
Saw the end of kids class Monday
night. So yeah, I think I figured out a good system for the kids. And you know what really helps with high-spirited kids?
What's that?
Other kids in the classroom or other kids in the class, like getting more kids, especially kids that know what they're doing. Like we had a couple kids sign up that have trained before that just moved to town from Texas. And so like when you have like 3, 4, 5 kids who want to be there and they're doing the right thing, and you got the one kid who's acting up, or just not quite paying attention as much, it's a lot easier to kind of get them refocused because
he sees what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
He's got some sort of frame of reference, like, all those kids are not quite acting like I am. Right, yeah. When you're one of like 2 or 3 kids in the class, and it's like, half the class or 33% of the class is acting this way. It's like, so yeah, no, it was, I feel good, got some good sequences I'm going to teach the kids. We talked about that a little bit. Like we talk about that for adults, but I think it's, definitely important for the kids, like, cause it gives them, like this week we did like, talking with Z, it's like we did the double leg, get past crazy legs to the side control to Americana. So there's a pathway that you're teaching them. No roadmap.
Yeah, exactly. And then you start to realize like, oh, this is like a kata in karate. And you start to realize like, oh, okay, well this is why they do katas. Like there's more to them. It's not just stupid movements. Like you don't understand them, what it looks like if you don't understand it. But these are kind of like BJJ katas. And so I'm going to put together like like 8 of them, and that's going to be the curriculum,
Kid roadmaps. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Each week will be a different little roadmap for them. And in that they'll, get exposed to a lot of the basic movements and positions and stuff. And then it'll make it easy too. Like, hey, to advance to your next belt, I expect for you to know this roadmap here. And so, like...
That's a good idea. I never thought about building a kids program curriculum like that, like roadmaps. What's roadmap 1? What's from guard pad roadmap 1, roadmap 2, or something. You come up with different names, or whatever.
Yeah,
like that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that I could see that being a good idea.
We'll see how it goes. Kids seem to like it because again, you feel like you're learning something and you see yourself getting better. You start with move 1 and then you move 1 and 2 and move 1, 2, and 3. By the time you get to the end of it, you've done move 1. Quite a bit. So you're I'm getting better at this, and and so especially if they come to both classes, by the time Wednesday, class, they've already seen it on Monday, so they're doing it again, and they're in the class feeling like, okay, good, like I'm learning something, I got something figured out here. So, and yeah, it's funny, man. I was like, I had to like take note, like, damn, and then we do specific training because I want them to roll, but I want to keep it under control. And so we'll do some specific training based on like the main positions. Like this week we were going from side control, because they were going from side control. And I was like, okay, if you're on top, try and, get the Americana or, get to mount. And if you're on bottom, try and get your knee in that little pocket and get away, get some space. And so just some real basic situational sparring based on the position, the sequence that we're learning. And then, I think that kind of will cover the jiu-jitsu, man, and throw in some games and a little warm-up, and
nice.
You got a fucking hour of activity.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. Feel pretty good about it.
That's good.
So, and then actually my buddy, my high-spirited buddy, his dad actually came up. He came in and watched the class on Wednesday, and he came up to me and was talking, and, he said, like, hey, if you need to get onto him, that's fine. We're not those parents who are going to be like, oh, don't get onto my kid. And I just told him, I was like, hey, that's, good. But just so you know, my motivation is, like, I just want this to be a productive and safe training environment. Like, that's what I want to explain to, your kid, is that this isn't just, oh, you're in trouble because you're breaking the rules. It's like, no, man, you're in trouble right now. You need to hang out with me because, like, you're not being a good teammate. Your partner can't get reps right now because you're running around playing with your belt. So you come hang out with me, and I'm going to let that guy go work with someone else. And when you're ready to be a good teammate, then you can do it. And, I think like that, and he seemed to appreciate that. But, it was good to know, like, I don't have to worry too, You don't
have to walk on too many eggshells. Like.
Yeah. Obviously the parents understand, like, hey, my kid is a handful at times. And if you need to, do what you need to do to keep discipline going, then do it. And that's good, because like we talked about last time, man, like, that line has moved since we were kids.
Yes,
both from what kids expect and what parents are willing to tolerate. And so sometimes the line's so far that it just creates an unruly, undisciplined atmosphere. And so it's always the fear is, like, and
your line's going to be different than a different parent's line.
Right.
And so and it's good to know that, okay, we're kind of on the same page here.
Yeah.
We kind of have the same line here. Like,
yep. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. So no, it was good. So I feel like, much better about the kids program than I did
a week ago.
I feel like I got a good direction and things are good. So now I just got to get the adult program going. And
sweet.
So anyways, man, well,
we call it a wrap. Yeah, so we get to training.
So
cool. All right. See you.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now. So get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week. With a permanent rep, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy outside Molly dude. Melvin, Colin, Daisy do, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped in your face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, at times two, no clue. But soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences for what you do. To me, demon, a devil of many levels, I keep on beating. For several of them rebels, me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.